Hello and welcome to Always Elite. Today we're going to review Aew Dynamite from May 20th, 2020. Before we get into that, some very sad news. SHAD Gaspard, who was a part of a tag team back probably about a decade ago, part of Crime Time with JTG, was found washed ashore after he was taken out to sea a few days ago, trying to save his son from a wave and an undercurrent. Our condolences go out to his family and his son. Over at collarandelbow.com, they're having a sale on their shirts, at least one of them that I know of, at 100% of the proceeds go to Shad's family. Now, let's get into the Dynamite. Starts off with the Inner Circle arriving in a limo outside the building. Didn't know who it was at first. Sorry, I'm outside trying to swat away bees. Then it goes into the ring on a totally separate subject with a match between 10 of the Dark Order and Jon Moxley. Brody Lee gets on the mic and addresses the home crowd, says there's a disconnect between him and the fans. He calls the Dark Order the elite of AEW. Moxley comes down. He's really pissed off because Brody Lee still has his championship with him. He does a running high knee and 2 suplexes within the first 10-15 seconds of getting to the ring. He is really pissed. 10 gets the upper hand after John was distracted by the referee. Mox ends it with a paradigm shift, a pile driver, and then another paradigm shift for the win. After the match, tells Brody that he's got 10 seconds to bring his title back, or he will break 10's arm. Well, Brody Lee said, sometimes you have to make sacrifices, and he just left. And John just goes ahead and stomps on 10's arm and breaks it. Up next is MJF versus Marco Stunt. MJF taunts Marco into striking him, and MJF puts him in a bear hug. MJF is just having fun with Marco, like the entire match. Marco later tries to outsmart MJF, but it didn't work. MJF locks in the Salt of the Earth for the win. Next is the confrontation between Jake Roberts and Arn Anderson. This is a good one. Jake says Lance will destroy Cody and rip his heart out. Arn tells Jake that Jake is ruthless, says anytime, any place. He says, Arn says Mike Tyson will be a double or nothing. Jake says Lance will knock out Iron Mike just because he feels like it. Arn tells Jake that he will spinebuster him with no hesitation. Jake throws the table aside and they get broken up immediately before any contact is made. So this may end up being a match which I don't want to see. I don't know about you guys. You let me know in the comments you want to see that match. Arn versus Jake at this stage of their lives, pretty much. Then it's packed with a vignette from his home because he's stranded in England because he can't travel because of what's going on. Pac says Orange Cassidy is marked and Phoenix will take care of him. Then it goes into the match, Orange Cassidy versus Ray Phoenix. Orange dodges Phoenix's moves from the offset with his hands in his pockets, as typical Orange does. But Ray gets the upper hand and just starts to pummel Orange throughout the break. Orange has a few spots of offense, nothing really big. Kip Sabian comes out, puts up a ladder on the outside of the ring, and sits on the ladder saying he needs a better view, which distracts Orange and then allows Phoenix to low blow Orange, and Phoenix picks up the win. SCU comes out and dumps Kip into the ring, and then all hell breaks loose. Next up, it's Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose and Britt Baker. Nyla tries to sneak attack with Shida's kendo stick, but it doesn't work. Nyla finally gets the upper hand, just beating up on Chris Statlander through the break. Now at some point, Britt Baker gets injured. I don't know what from, but it comes out later that she really does have a legit injury, which doesn't mean anything to mostly anybody, but because she was a non-factor in this match anyway. Shida gets the hot tag and destroys Nyla and Britt. In the end, Nyla overcomes the 2-on-1 advantage from said injury from Britt Baker and gets the win with a beast bomb to Shida. After the match, Nyla tries to put Shida through the table, but Chris helps Shida and they put Nyla through the table instead. Then it's Sean Spears hosts a news segment, Sean Spears News Network, or whatever they want to call it. He says he's got news that after 30 years of wrestling, Dustin is now considered retired. Then he proceeds to challenge Dustin at Double or Nothing, which is kind of stupid, but that's just Sean's character, I guess. Then it's the main event. It's Sammy Guevara versus Broken Matt Hardy. Now, this was a very good match. Early on, Matt smothers Sammy with basic moves and just keeps on him with punches and kicks and basic holds. Matt's working on one body part at a time. First his hands, then his arm, then his head, and I guess his legs as well. Sammy counters a twist of fate with an impressive handstand. Throughout the break, Sammy was beating on Matt like Matt did to him early in the match, one body part at a time. In the end, it was a very good match, but to end it, Matt counters a shooting star press with his knees up, then a twist of fate. Matt gets the W. After the match, Jericho gets on the screen, and he's got Kenny Omega held up against the goalposts in the arena. Jericho then proceeds to hit Omega with a baseball bat. Then the Bucks and Hardy get there and they beat up on the inner circle. And then from out of nowhere, Hangman Page comes doing a 100-yard dash across the field and just attacks Jake Hager. It was funny. They all come out and then they look like, you know, the Elite look great at the end of this whole thing and chase off the inner circle. Well, that's the end of the show. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, vote in the poll above my head. Until next time, always be elite.